Hey there, everyone. Dina here from Pain to Possibilities and the Change Pain Academy. Welcome to No Pain, No Gain 101. For today's workshop, I'm going to give you a clearer sense of what pain education actually is, a clearer sense of why pain education is critical to changing pain, and I want to showcase a little bit of what we do inside the Academy. But first, I know you know pain. You understand deeply how it affects your day-to-day already. Pain, or the thought of pain, is often front and center, and you live with that noise every single day. You've been doing the work for months, even years, to figure it out. Different doctors, a multitude of appointments, etc. But I want to turn the expression on its head because words matter. So taking the old rhetoric of NO, pain, no pain, no gain, we're going to flip that on its head so that if you understand pain, how it works, then you'll understand how it can benefit your pain experience. So this curated content is coming from a few different places, but primarily from the Explain Pain Revolution, which is the NOI group out of Australia. And the lead researchers there are Dr. Lorimer Moseley and Dr. David Butler. So let's define first, what is education? I love this. Education is the wise, hopeful, skilled, and respectful facilitation of learning undertaken in the belief that all should have the chance to share in life. This also comes from the NOI group. They've just created their own version, and I love it so much that even if I just showed you this slide, this should be enough to showcase how important pain education truly is for those who live with chronic pain. So before we dive into the easier stuff, we're going to start first with the more difficult stuff. We're going to get a little sciencey here, and I want to talk a little bit about how pain education actually works and the research that it's showing. So stick with me here. We'll get through this together. So there's a couple of numbers that are important to know when it comes to research. There is the NNT and the NNH. NNT is a number needed to treat, and NNH is the number needed to harm. The numbers are an attempt to quantify effectiveness, how good are the drugs, how good are the treatments and the protocols, but also to balance the benefits of treatments against safety or potential harms. So we also want to understand, okay, what is going to cause harm and to what part of our population. So here we go a little bit deeper into this, the breakdown. So NNT, number needed to treat, and this statistic tells us how good a treatment is at achieving a desired effect. Whereas an NNH is the number needed to harm. Oops, typo there. The statistic measuring for harm associated with medications. And then we have the NNK, which is, we're not going to go into this too much, but it's the number needed to kill. For example, NNK is the number needed to kill. We're not going to go into great detail about this, but this is really in place due to the crisis that we are in the midst of with opioids. All right, so NNT, essentially the lower the number, the better. So 1 equals treatment is effective for everyone. Give you an example, gabapentin for neuropathic pain is about 6.3. So there are some risks. The NNT for Explain Pain is 4. So pain education is lower, safer, more effective than gabapentin. If drug companies came across a new pain relief drug with an NNT of 4, they would be rubbing their hands in excitement. And I used to work for a pharmaceutical company, and they would be very excited about those numbers. NNH, the higher the number, the better. So it's opposite of NNT. So the number needed to harm, we're looking for a higher number to be more effective. So NNH for drug, spinal cord stimulator, or surgery-based approaches range anywhere from 25 to 2. So there's definitely some risk showing in there. No N number needed to harm has been calculated for explained pain because there's not enough instances in clinical trials of any harm. So if they were able to capture that data, they're suggesting that the number needed to harm would be in the hundreds for EP, meaning the higher the number, the better the score. And then, of course, NNK, number needed to kill. I'm not going to go into that, but it is something that they are watching very closely. And there's some heated battles around what that number is, and completely understandable. Okay, so what is the next NN? Well, we're really hoping that the next NN is number needed to educate as being, something they can test for, and they are testing for. The aim for pain education is to be 1. So 1 where it's effective for everyone. So essentially, if all that stuff was just a bunch of noise, this is an important slide here. All this means that pain education is evidence-based. It has been researched thoroughly and showing promising results in tandem with other protocols, and there are no known side effects. That in itself is slide number 2 that is really important to understand why pain education is crucial. Because understanding pain changes pain. So let's talk a little bit more about this. We'll first address how it affects your pain, how it's helpful to others, and how it's really helpful for our society to understand truly how pain works. For yourself, making informed decisions on your care is so important. One of the main complaints from our chronic pain community is that they feel like treatment is being done to them, not with them. And so when you truly understand where pain is coming from and what you can do about it and how you can self-manage along with other protocols, then you become more in the driver's seat around your care. And then you can make important decisions around what's going to be best for you and your unique situation. You can dial down the pain on your own terms. So when you understand where the pain is coming from, how it's being amplified, how it's being produced, how it's being interpreted, you can then start to work with it and then dial down or tamp down that pain on your own. I mean, yes, there will be times when you will need the medication or procedures, scans, all that stuff, but we want to make sure that we're not just purely relying on that we are offering you more of the ability to dial that pain down, just like this remote control. Becoming even more of the expert on your pain. So again, the more you understand, the more you become the expert, the more you can be a part of the conversations with your caregivers, the more you can be a key stakeholder at the decision-making table. The list goes on and on. And we also know that it's beneficial to you and that meaningful movement is a crucial part of recovery. We know that already. But we also know it hurts. So what do we do about that? Pain education helps you to reimagine movement as a protective measure rather than a danger, so that over time you can do more with less pain and less fear. And for others, pain education increases awareness of yours and others' experiences of life with pain. Pain education can help you understand your reactions or responses to other people. And I would also say it goes both ways. I do believe we live in an uninformed society for both chronic pain and trauma, which are very much linked. The more we know, the better we can respond in a way that causes less pain, less harm, less emotional trauma as well. So let's explore a little bit more. Here are the first 3 target concepts that we teach inside the Change Pain Academy. Number 1, you are a symphony. Number 2, pain is normal, personal, and always real. And number 3, pain and tissue damage are poorly related. You are a symphony. Okay, bear with me here. You and your pain are a symphony of matter, structure, hours of practice, experience, context, emotions, and interpretations all balled into one. Unfortunately, our biomedical approach tends to reduce that symphony to parts, or to a single instrument, or a few notes, when we know you are so much more than just a few notes on a page. So when it comes to pain, everything matters. Just like I mentioned with the symphony analogy, thoughts, emotions, behaviors, your lived experience, words you hear, images you see, interpretations your brain makes on whether you feel safe or not, all of this comes together and it all matters. Just like in a symphony when you have all these components coming together to make for this incredible experience. Number 2, pain is normal, personal, and always real. How is my pain normal? Well, pain is a normal part of life and is a key component in our ability to protect ourselves from harm. If we were just to leave you again with this slide, this is an important one because our brains, our systems are really primarily set up to keep you safe. And so that pain is purely a response to keeping you safe. We also know that pain is yours, real, and unique. Pain is never imagined, and if you feel pain, you have pain. So just like a thumbprint, everyone's pain story is a little bit different. Lots of overlap, lots of commonalities, but truly it is unique for every individual. So I would like to propose that you are the expert on your pain. You understand intuitively what's going on with your pain. However, you're not being told the full story. And so the more you learn about pain education, the more, even more than you currently are, become the expert on your pain. All pain experiences are normal and are an excellent, though unpleasant, response to what your brain judges to be a threatening situation. So let's break this one down. Again, we're talking about a threatening situation. It may not be a threatening situation, but your brain has become really good at interpreting things that would normally be safe as being dangerous. And so that is often what happens in chronic situations when it's been doing the same thing for a long time and gotten really good at it. So we are saying that, and the research is showing that pain is normal. Pain is a good thing. However, it can be obviously unpleasant, but it also is not without its flaws. And number 3, pain and tissue damage are poorly related. I'm going to say that one more time because it's just that important. Pain and tissue damage are poorly related. Pain is an unreliable indicator of the presence or extent of tissue damage. Either can exist without the other. And we know this from amazing pain stories. There are many, many of these interesting pain stories. I'll just draw up a few from your memory here. Of course, you may have heard of phantom limb story where even though there are limbs that have been removed, for example, a soldier lost a limb, there is still a pain experience. Why is there pain if there's no tissue, if there's no damage to that area? How does it cause pain? So that's what we unfold, all within the Change Pain Academy. We also know of other stories where people have shown up in emergency rooms with catastrophic damage, but they have no idea. They can't see the injury, so they don't experience the pain. Again, that doesn't always happen, but that is certainly has happened many times in the past. This I could talk about for a long time, but just to touch on it, the link between scans and pain. Hold on here. Let me just explain what I mean. I do believe scans are important, but I do believe there is a line to be crossed when it comes to overdoing scans. When the body is so good at detecting danger, as it does become with chronic pain, and then showing someone with that hyper-vigilant state an image sends off the alarm bells instantaneously in the brain. And so that is going to amplify pain. The more you understand how pain works, the more you can start to make informed decisions around, is this scan going to be helpful for me? Or is it going to be something that's going to amplify my pain? You can have pain and no damage and vice versa. Although our pain system is sophisticated, it is not without its flaws. And pain is complicated and multidimensional. So let's do a little quick review. You are a symphony. We know that your body has, over thousands of years, created these incredibly complex processes, and they all work together. Sometimes a string breaks in the symphony, sometimes an instrument fails to perform. So we are a symphony. We do have some of our flaws, but on the whole, you are a pretty incredible combination of things happening at once. Pain is normal, personal, and always real. As soon as we know that hopefully gives you a little comfort that you know best what's going on in there, and that pain and tissue damage are poorly related. So how can you apply these concepts today? First of all, just observe one thing. Think of one example that you find fascinating about your pain in particular. Perhaps something you have questioned in the past but didn't have an explanation for it. So if you know that there might be something you were not too sure about, write it down. Number 2, be curious. Ask yourself questions related to these key concepts. How can these 3 concepts apply to my pain? I'll get back to that one in just a second. Number 3, one of the best ways to retain all of this is to teach someone what you learned today. Try to relay the 3 target concepts you learned today to someone in your family, or to a friend, or to a pet. Even walls can be a good listener if need be. I have talked to many walls in my day. It's one of the best ways to retain the information. Let's go back to number 2. Just as an example, how can these concepts apply to my pain? So if we were to take the last point where pain is not necessarily a good indication of damage, let's think about ways that you could use this concept to your advantage. For example, let's say you woke up one day and the pain was much more intense than it was the day before. It would be really easy for your brain to go down the rabbit hole of, oh, this is going to be an awful day. My pain is worse today. I must have done something while I was sleeping, or I must have done something wrong yesterday, or maybe I've done more damage. If you can remind yourself in that instant that pain does not necessarily mean damage, then you can start to be a little more curious around why perhaps that pain has been amplified that day. And curiosity is a really good tool when it comes to chronic pain management. So in summary, understanding pain changes pain. Pain is normal, unique to you, and always real. Pain education is analgesic, so it actually is going to help reduce pain. Learning about pain helps you in our society. Pain knowledge powers movement therapies, helps you work through the fear of movement, and pain and tissue damage are poorly related. Those are just 3 concepts that we teach inside the Change Pain Academy. There is so much to understand when it comes to chronic pain, and unfortunately, they're just not getting that message to the people who need it most. At the Change Pain Academy, we are creating a unique ecosystem exclusively for people who live with persistent pain. What you learned today comes from our first lessons inside the Change Pain Academy. The learning path, which you see here, guides you along a curated step-by-step track, complete with actionable items to help you integrate your new knowledge into practice. And not only do you have actionable items that help to keep you moving forward, but you also have coaching. You have support of people around you. Inside this academy, you have full access to a learning path, which we just showed you, a growing library curated for life with chronic pain and chronic pain recovery, and ongoing coaching sessions, workshops, and community events. And finally, the Kutch community is where you can make meaningful connections, lean on each other, vent, get creative, and celebrate our abilities. This is one of the most powerful things that we offer inside the community. Kutch is the heart of our community, and it's a space where you can really get to know people who are going through the same thing as you are. So if you need more information, please visit us at pain2possibilities.com. Thank you so much for watching.